Hello students, how are you? Fantastic. And today is the second class of this topic, right on the class number 2. Second class of this topic. And we will continue from the previous class only what I taught in the previous class. The topic was what? GST and GNP. I'm sorry. GDP and GNP. Gross domestic product and gross national product. I told you if you have given the if you have to find out gross national product and you have been given GDP, how can you find out? You will add first. What you will add? You will add factor income earned by resident from abroad. Factor income earned by resident from abroad. And then you will minus factor income earned by non-resident in India. It may be called as, this is also called as factor income from abroad. Simple sense में factor income from abroad. This is also called as factor income to abroad. Factor income from abroad and factor income to abroad. First question is why we are adding this? Why we are adding this? We are adding this because this is the income which is not the part of GDP. Factor income earned by resident from abroad. Basically, the abroad lands are being utilized. Abroad space are being utilized. That's why that does not part of what? That does not become the part of GDP. That's why we have to add this to convert the GDP into GNP. And why we are deducting factor income earned by non-resident in India? Because factor income earned by non-resident in India is the part of GDP, but it cannot be the part of GNP because this income is being earned by non-resident. Although the condition for the GNP is that income should be earned by resident. So the first one is added and second one is deducted. Now the point is, can we simplify this formula? Yes, of course. This is called GNP equals to GDP plus NFIA. We simplified this. Why, sir? What is this NFIA? NFIA is a net factor incomes from abroad. And this net, how can you find out this net? Net factor income from abroad minus net factor income to abroad. Net factor income from abroad and net factor income to abroad. That we have exactly written here. You can see by the yellow highlighter. That's exactly we have written here. Factor income, not net, factor income. Factor income from abroad minus factor income to abroad. The deduction of this two gives you what? Net factor income from abroad, NFIA. This is NFIA. It may be positive, it may be negative. It depends on which. This is more, then it's positive. If this is more, then it's negative. Like that. So if anybody will ask you how can we convert the GNP into, how can you find out the GNP? If GDP is given, you will say you will add the NFIA and you will get what? GNP. If the reverse situation, then you can write the GDP here. GNP is given to you minus NFIA. This is how you can find out the GNP as well. So if any two factors are given, third could be found out. If any two factors are given in this case. So first part is over. Now the point is, so we have gross domestic product. We have gross domestic product, GDP. Can we get the net domestic product? Can we get the NDP? Yes, we can get the NDP. Today I will make little bit faster because in the last class it was very basic, so I have to devote some more time, but today you have the concept little bit. So NDP is what? NDP is GDP minus depreciation. Depreciation is called what, you know? This is called consumption of fixed assets. Depreciation is also called consumption of fixed assets. Why, sir? I told you, you just shut your eyes and think of that. Whatever the machinery and assets are being used by any country for their productions, that machinery or any other assets will lose its value after 1 year. And whatever the value has been lost, that amount is called what? Depreciation. I'm telling you, suppose that to produce this GDP, we utilize the machinery, their cost is 10 lakh, suppose that. And GDP is given what? Suppose 50 lakh. So GDP is 50 lakh, machinery used is 10 lakh, but after 1 year, the machinery value will be only suppose 8 lakh. So 2 lakh is what? 2 lakh is called depreciation, or you may call it consumption of fixed assets, whatever. So this GDP 50 lakh is not your actual production. We lost something on account of this production. That is what? 2 lakh. So lastly we got the difference of what? 48 lakh. And this 48 lakh is called what? NDP. NDP means what? Net domestic product. Why this is called net? Because if I deduct from gross, we deduct depreciation from the gross, we get what? Net. So if anywhere anybody asks you what is the difference in gross and net, you will say what? Depreciation. And if anybody asks you what is the other name of depreciation, you will say what? Consumption of fixed assets. So lastly I'm writing again, NDP equals to GDP minus depreciation. Similarly, NNP equals to GNP. You understand that? This is domestic, this is national. NNP equals to GNP minus depreciation. GNP is the gross, minus depreciation, you got what? Net. This is how you can get the net amount. Now the third point. First point we discussed about the GDP, second point we discussed about the depreciation. Third point we are going to discuss now what? GDP can be at, maybe at what? Maybe at factor cost or market price. GDP may be at factor cost or at market price. What does this mean, sir? I am telling you. Suppose that you are going in the market to purchase what? To purchase a machinery. Suppose that machinery you take what? Durable goods like fridge, geyser, washing machines and whatever. You're going to purchase that in the market. Right? Suppose you're going to purchase washing machine. Take the example of washing machine. Washing machine cost is what? Suppose 20,000. And Shopkeepers tells you that you have to pay GST also at the rate, suppose 10%. Add this GST and it becomes what? 22,000. How much money you will pay to the to the shopkeeper? Tell me. Actually, you will pay 22,000 to the shopkeeper, isn't it? Tell me. You will pay 22,000 to the shopkeeper. But out of this 22,000, how much money will be kept by shopkeeper and how much money will be given by shopkeeper to the government? 20,000 will kept by what? Kept by shopkeeper. And 2,000 rupees shopkeeper will pay to government. So whatever money has been kept by the shopkeeper, that is actually what? That is actually the basic price. That is also called factor cost. Why this is basic price? This is factor cost. Because shopkeeper charging from you what? Shopkeeper charging from you land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship cost. Land, rent, labor, wage, capital, interest, entrepreneurship profit. Any shopkeeper, any businessman can charge this only. But so this is called basic price and factor cost. But since shopkeeper also has to collect the tax on behalf of government and ultimately this money will go in the pocket of government. This money does not belong to the shopkeeper. So when you add this money, the tax part you add in the basic price now, it becomes what? Market price. It becomes market price. So this is what? This is market price. This is market price. This is called market price. Why? Because if you go in the market now, you purchase the washing machine at this price. So this is called market price. So now we can very easily, you can write here market price equals to what? Market price equals to basic price plus what? Basic price plus tax. That is called indirect tax. Basic price plus indirect tax. Let us take the other example. Suppose that you are going to purchase any machinery, suppose a solar cooker. You're going to purchase the solar cooker and their cost is what? Their market price, their cost is 20, let us take 15,000. Solar cooker you're going to purchase in the market 15,000. But government says to the shopkeeper that you charge to the customer only what? Only 13,000. You charge 13,000 from the customer and take 2,000 from me. 13,000 from the customer and take 2,000 from me. So here the 15,000 is what? 15,000 is the basic price. Why 50,000 basic price? Because I told you whatever money goes in the pocket of shopkeeper is the basic price. So shopkeeper ultimately receives 15,000. So this is basic price. But whatever money is being paid by customer is the market price. This is market price. And here this 2,000 is not tax, it is subsidy. This is called what? Subsidy. This is called what? Subsidy. This is called subsidy. Why this is called subsidy? Because government is giving money to the shopkeeper on behalf of you. Why government is doing like that? Why should I answer you? It's government has to answer. But very simple answer here. Government wants to promote what? Solar cooker. Because solar cooker has what? Least pollution. So government want to promote that. That's why. So whenever the government wants to promote any product, now government give the subsidy on that. So subsidy makes what? Market price lesser. Here the basic price is more and market price is less. So in this case, market price equals to what? Market price equals to basic price minus what? Basic price minus subsidy. So you can ask me, sir, what is correct here? This is correct or this is correct? So I will say both are correct. So actually the market price equals to, this is also partly correct and this is also partly correct. So actually the market price equals to basic price plus what? Plus indirect tax minus subsidy. This is your market price. Actually, this is your market price. Understand? Market price equals to basic price plus indirect tax minus subsidy. Now, if GDP is given to you, at what? At market price. You have to find out GDP at market price, suppose that. But GDP is given to you at basic price. Or you may write here factor cost, FC also is the same thing. Basic price or factor cost. GDP is given at factor cost. I'm writing basic price here, suppose BP. You have to convert GDP basic price to the GDP market price. How can you convert that? You will write here add what? Indirect tax minus what? Subsidy. GDP market price equals to GDP basic price plus indirect tax minus subsidy. Got it? This is one of the, third informations I provided to you. How to convert what? Basic price into the market price. Suppose that you have given NDP, you have given GNP at market price, you have to find out. GNP at market price, you have to find out. And you have given what? GNP at basic price. Same thing here, plus indirect tax minus subsidy. So if anybody anywhere asking you what is the difference in market price and basic price, you will say what? Market price equals to basic price plus net indirect tax. Net indirect tax. Why? And what is net indirect tax? NIT equals to indirect tax minus subsidy. That is net indirect tax. You can use the net indirect tax like that. Understood? I hope you understood so far. So so far we have discussed what? We have shown you the difference between what? Domestic and national. The distinction between gross and net, and distinction between basic price and market price. We have discussed the 3 points so far together. I hope you understand so far. Sure? Now suppose that we can use this formula to find out anything. Suppose that you need what? You need NNP at market price. Suppose that you need what? NNP at market price. And you have given what? You have given GDP at basic price. GDP at basic price, but you want NNP. So let's see here. See, this is the concept properly here. See, first point is what? You have to convert the gross into what? Net. So to convert the gross into net, you minus what? Depreciation. That's it. Second point is you have to convert the domestic into national. If you want to convert the domestic into national, then you have to do what? Minus what? Plus what? Plus what? NFIA. We have discussed here. See here. We have discussed here NFI plus NFIA. If you want what? National, and you have given what? Domestic plus NFIA. Yes, sir. Understood. Then third point is what? You have to convert what? You have to convert what? Basic price into market price. So you have to add what here? Net indirect tax. Net indirect tax. Understand? This is how the conversion takes place in the case of given you the different informations. Right, you can apply that. But this is so basic that I don't want to pay much attention on this. I'll move forward now. Here my 3 important points are over. Right, now we'll move forward for some other topics. Right, now we will move forward. The topic is not belongs to only GDP and GNP and net and all. The discussion has to be carried forward. See here. Now we will distribute the GDP. We will do the slicing of GDP. Actually, GDP is being earned by two sectors in any country. The one sector is private sector and other sector is what? Government sector. Please pay attention here. Now we are slicing the GDP. GDP is being earned by private sectors as well as government sectors. So private sectors plus government sector together makes what? GDP in totality. Right, sir. Now tell me, what is the part of GDP belongs to private sector? That is called what? Part of GDP belongs to private sector is called what? Is called private income, and that is called income from, right on here, income from net domestic product, NDP, accruing to private sector. Accruing to private sector. I mean to say, two sectors working together makes the entire GDP. If you want to slice this GDP in two parts, private sector share is called what? Private sector's GDP, and the government sector's GDP. So we are going slicing the GDP on two parts. The private sector's share is called income from NDP. I'm writing also here NDP because GDP is not sliced, NDP is sliced. Income from NDP accruing to private sector. How can you find out that? If we have given what? Total NDP minus NDP belongs to government sector. Very easy. Whatever the share of government sector, you deduct the share of government sector from the NDP, you will get what? Income from NDP accruing to private sectors. There are two sectors only. If you deduct the government sector's income, then you get what? Private sector's income. But the point is, how to calculate the government sector's income? See here. Government sector. That is also called public sector. Government sector is also called public sector. How can you calculate the public sector income? Public sector income is here given two types of income. First is property and entrepreneurial income. You first of all write on, I'll then I will explain you away. Property and entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial. Little bit difficulty in speaking from my side, but I understand. I beg your pardon. This is entrepreneurial income. Property and entrepreneurial income of the government administrative department. Second income is saving of non-departmental undertakings. Saving of non-departmental undertakings. Saving of non-departmental undertakings. These two incomes together makes the income of what? Government sector. And if you got the government sector income, deduct the government sector income from where? From total GDP. You will get the income of what? Private sectors. This is how you can find out, you can slice, you can divide the GDP in the private sectors and government sectors income. Yes, sir. Now the next point is, so now we have after GDP, I'm writing again here, we have after GDP, we calculated NDP. NDP further divided in two parts, private sector and then public sector. Public sector means government sector. Now we have to calculate next type of income, that is what? That is private income. That is called private income. You will say, sir, just now you have calculated what? You have calculated that income from NDP accruing to private sector. Income from NDP accruing to private sector. That's it. This is private income. Income from NDP accruing to private sector. Here you have got the NDP. This is total income of the country, dividing in two parts, private and government. So whatever the private share in NDP, that is private income. Of course, you are partly true, but this is not 100% true. Why? Because private income will be calculated by adding some other incomes also here. Some of the incomes being earned by private individuals, that is actually not earned, that is actually the transfers. You can get the money from the government as a help. You can get from the foreign countries as help. That money is not being actually earned, that you get as a transfer. That income also forming what? The part of the private incomes. But here I'm not talking about the transfers, I'm talking about the NDP. In this case, I'm talking about the NDP. Here I'm talking about only NDP. NDP are the earned income. NDP are the earned income. So if I'm talking about the income from NDP accruing to private sector, it means the private sector has earned this income. But some of the income is not earned. They are just the transfers getting from the governments. Right? So adding all those incomes makes what? Private income. So private income equals to, you will add here, one more thing you add here, NFIA. This NFIA is also earned income. But why I'm adding this NFIA? Because NDP is domestic income. Domestic income will be added by NFIA. Then it becomes a national income. And then it will be the part of what? Private income. NFIA plus. Plus what? Plus transfer payments. Transfer payments. Transfer payments from the government. Transfer payments from the government. Transfer payments from the government. Plus interest on national debt. Plus current transfer from abroad. Current transfer from abroad. What is this, sir? I think you are getting little bit less voice because my mic was like that. Now you will get the proper voice. See, what is this, sir? Listen, I will make you understand. Private income. First of all, you talk about the NDP. NDP part to the private sector. This is called what? This is called income from NDP accruing to private sector. Income from NDP accruing to private sector means share of the private sector, accruing to private sector. But private sector does not earn only in the form of NDP. Private sector earns globally from other countries also, and that is called what? Being added by NFIA. The concepts of NFIA I told you already. Net factor income from abroad. Why? Why this is added here? Because NDP does not already include this. NDP does not include this. So that's why we have to include it separately. Net factor income from abroad. Right. Then what? Then transfers. Transfers may be from government, maybe from abroad. Two kinds of transfers. And then what? Then interest on national debt. What does this mean, sir? If you give loan to the government, suppose Mr. X, Mr. Y, whoever, Mr. A giving loan to the government, suppose 10 lakh you are giving loan to the government, government gives you interest 10%, suppose, that is what, 1 lakh. This 1 lakh also form part of what? Income. This is also the part of income. But you might ask me one question here, but you don't ask me. I don't want to make it complicated. You know what? Sir, this interest may be the part of the GDP. Now, this interest may be the part of this GDP. So why are you adding this interest on national debt separately? Interest on national debt is not the part of GDP. This is not the part of GDP. Interest on national debt is not the part of GDP. Interest on national debt is not the part of GDP, but interest on national debt is actually the earning of private bodies. That is why this national interest on national debt is added here. It's added here because it does not already belongs to the NDP. That's why it's added here. But it's a private income. So ultimately and finally, I'm writing this last time just to make you understand and make you what? Mug up also. You remember here only in the class that this is called what? Private income. This is called private income. You can find out how come NDP belongs to private sector, added by NFIA, added by transfers. Transfer what? Government plus abroad, added by interest on national debt. This is your private income. But private income is not the last income to calculate. Now you have to calculate the personal income also. Write on the personal income. What is this personal income, sir? Listen here. Private income. First of all, I will give you the concept, then I will discuss this. Private income. Suppose that any company, suppose XYZ Limited, earning, their profit is what? Their profit is, suppose 10 lakh rupees. So this 10 lakh rupees is called private income. This 10 lakh rupees is called private income. This 10 lakh rupees is called private income. This 10 lakh will be the part of private income because company XYZ Limited private sector. This company is private company. XYZ private company earning 10 lakh rupees profit. So this is private income. But out of this 10 lakh rupees, what company can do? Company can pay the tax. Suppose 30%, 3 lakh rupees tax company paying to the government. So how much money left then? How much profit left then? 7 lakh. And out of that also, company can retain some of the profit. Retained. That is called corporate saving. That is called corporate savings. Why company will retain? Because for the future investment, any company, whatever earning is not distributed 100% to the shareholders. Some of the profit, the part of profit is being kept by the private sectors for the future investments. Suppose that company is keeping what? 2 lakh rupees. So how much lastly left with? 5 lakh. This 5 lakh will be distributed among what? Household. This money is distributed to whom? distributed to household. This money is distributed to household. So actually this is called what? This is called personal income. Whatever the money private bodies, household gets in their hand lastly. So household gets this money in the hand lastly, because some of the money has been paid to the government as tax, some of the money has been kept by the company as savings. Lastly, whatever left has been distributed to the household. So this is personal income. So you can write the personal income like that. Private income, what we have calculated above, minus what? Corporate tax. Corporate tax minus what? Corporate savings. This gives you what? Corporate savings may be of the Indian company savings and foreign company savings, ultimately corporate savings. So ultimately you get what? Private income, right? This is how you can calculate the, this is how you can calculate the personal income, not private income. This is personal income, PI, personal income. But this is not the last calculations. The last one is what? Personal disposable income. Right on here. Personal disposable income. But enough is enough. I cannot continue anymore. In next class, you join me. I will revise all the points again. And then lastly, I'll discuss the personal disposable income and any other incomes left with. So God bless you all. Take care. Bye bye and see you.